All right, hello again, welcome back to the channel. I'm Andre and I'm going to talk to you about having to change my cassette and my chain. So currently I'm running a Shimano drivetrain on my Specialized Epic Evo comp, and I'm running an XT chain on a 12-speed 1051 XT rear cassette. Now if you hear background noise, that's because somebody's doing some renovation, construction in the neighborhood, and there's somebody over there playing music, but hopefully this DJI mic will help pull all that down, right? Anyway, the things you're gonna need for this, or I'm gonna need, is a 12-speed. This is the M8100 chain. You gotta make sure that, here's the little secret, 2 silver, 1 white in the logo. There are a lot of these fake chains going around, right? These chains come to you in a little package with instructions neatly folded, not photocopied and jammed in. Important thing about this is this chain comes covered in an oil, and I run wax. So the other thing we're going to talk about is waxing, right? The other thing you're going to need is, I'm going to run an SLX cassette. When I use an XT cassette, they're slightly lighter, but one of the things I've noticed is within 16 months, my granny and second ring teeth are all chewed up and dead. What happens is I can pick this up because when I'm climbing, my chain will skip, and it leads to me like, when you're pedaling and you like pop a couple of links, so you lose all your traction, you pop forward, you fall off your bike, you hit yourself. That's me. So I've measured my chain, and I'm like, I thought I was between 0.5 and the 0.75 or 0.7, whatever it is. Well, I'm well past 0.7. So changing my chain isn't going to cut it, because my cassette has probably been worn by the stretch chain. So it has to go to, and my experience on even my Ghost Lecter 6.9 is that with an 11 speed or with an XT chainring, I just wear it out. So I'm going to stick with these SLX. Longevity and the ability to take the beating that I put these things through is probably better. This is the M7100 1051 12-speed excuse me, micro spline. Now I was shaking this up a little bit, so things have fallen off. You pull it out to the box. There's your instructions that we're not going to read. All that stuff away. Here's all the, open it up, it falls out. You pull this back piece off, and you get to pull everything off. And you're making sure that you have the two, do you see them? These two little metal rings, the thin one's on the outside, the thick one is on the inside, and that's important. Okay, that's your spacing. So this cassette should be clean, but it does feel a little oily. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use some, I'll show you what the things you need. First off, I use degreaser, this purple stuff that I get from a big box store. So I think you need a bucket to put it in. Paper towel just to clean up. I don't like putting my hands in boiling hot water, because when you put this degreaser in, you need some hot water to help it do its job, right? Thicker rubber gloves. You also don't want it to be taking the grease out of your fingers. I use rubbing alcohol. I'm going to toss this stuff. This is old stuff. You can see it's a little bit yellow. Fresh rubbing alcohol to put the chain in after, to just make sure I get all of the oil that's on this chain off of it. And a couple of scrubby brushes. I'm not seeing any dirt, so I'm not terribly concerned about having to use these. However, in between seasons, so like going from, if you ride in winter to spring, summer, fall to winter, if you're going to re-grease your chain, it is a good idea to pull the cassette and pull the chain off your bike, and then you're going to probably need these again. Hot water, degreaser. The wax is really good at not picking up dirt, but it does get some. It's inevitable when you ride in wet, sandy, mucky, dusty conditions. So having a clean drivetrain just makes things work better, last longer, not worse. Use one of these little things on top of your bucket to stop the hot water from losing heat, okay? This just helps keep the heat in, so the degreaser works better, okay? Of this bucket, because I want it's greasier. I'm gonna take the dead bugs out of here. Yep, Good idea. And the dirt, a little bit of grass or whatever the hell is in there. Put this over there and drop, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna drop these in here too. Clean everything, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on top, because even though it doesn't really look like there's oil on it, it does feel a little bit. So yeah, let's drop this in here. We want no oil, right? And all you're gonna do is very carefully put the degreaser in, and then I'm gonna get some hot water. So I put enough in so that it covers about half of my cassette, and then I'm gonna go grab some hot water. Okay, through the magic of editing, here's a kettle full of hot water. I'm just gonna pour this in. A liter should do, because you want this whole thing to get nice and hot. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna cover this up. Put these guys on top to stop it from blowing away, because at times it'll try. And I'm gonna go get a stick. That's one more thing you need, like a paint stick, to stir this around and pull this stuff out. The other thing I'm gonna show you how to do is how to mount this to a microspline wheel, because I'm gonna be using my, I have an alternate Elite Wheels Rare 29er Pro 36 wheel. Hey squirrel, keep quiet, stop it, go away, go on. Damn squirrels. Anyway, now let me go get my stick and I'll be right back. I'm back, and I just thought I'd bring out my crock pot that I do the waxing in. Oh Jesus, right now I have to warm this up. Anyway, small crock pot, I got it from Walmart or Amazon, something like that. I use molten speed wax, a block in here, and that's what I need. Here's a paint stick that I'm going to use to stir stuff up and pull the cassette out soon. And I use this little wire coat hanger to put the chain on. So when I dip it in here for 15-20 minutes, it brings the chain up to temperature, and all the wax gets in between all the links. Now I'm back. Nothing like safety second. Let's get the gloves on first, because you know it's no fun till somebody loses an eye. But we're going to try to avoid that today. Go in here, give this a stir like I'm making soup. And I'm gonna, yeah, I think I got everybody on the cassette sitting here. So there we go. That should be nice and clean. That's it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 gears. The lock ring, the small and the big chain ring, big spacers. See, these little metal spacers. The idea is you want to agitate this a little bit just to make sure you get the oil that they've put on the chain to keep it from rusting out of the between the links. That's probably the biggest thing here, is just trying to get stuff out from between the links. All right, I'm back, and it's time to get this chain out. It should be clean. What I did was I grabbed one of these little food containers. Pull this out. Yep, looks good. This way. So okay, man, this is just gonna drive me crazy today. All right, here you go. Chain in container. Have to reach up. Found one master link. Man, our water's still hot. Oh, there it is. Got it. You little bastard. Come on. Oh, got it now. Okay, so I want to show you. Look at the inside of this bucket. You cannot see down there, but you know what that is? That's not dirt. What you'll find on the XT and the SLX cassettes, the granny and second ring sometimes have a black coating on them. If you leave them in here long enough, that'll strip right off. You'll end up with 12 bright silver cassettes. So I don't know why those colors are like that, whether it's just so they can distinguish what you're riding with or what you have or what, but I don't know. I am going to take this chain downstairs, give it a hot water wash, just get all the degreaser off, and I'm going to dry it off a bit, and I'm going to bring it right back out, put it in this container with this 99% alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. Vodka won't do it, gin won't do it, screech won't do it, white rum won't do it. You save that for internal use, okay? This is, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get this into the alcohol to prevent any oxidation. You want a watertight container because you're going to shake it a little bit to make sure if there's any little grit or little pieces of dirt. And this is specifically applies to when you are doing a re-greasing. So when your chain has been on your bike for 6 months. Okay, that's how I do it. Works for me, and people have other ways, but like I said, I'm showing you what I do, so hopefully it helps you. All right, let's go get this washed off and back in this rubbing alcohol before it starts turning brown. All right, I'm back. Freshly washed chain, dried, nice and shiny. Drop it in there, drop my 2 master links in, get it down as low as I can, right? And then you want to make sure the chain is completely immersed. Then put it on, so squeeze to lock it, shake it, and then you look at the bottom, right? So what you're basically doing is looking under here to see if there's any crud, sand, dirt, dust, whatever. I have to count the number of links on my old chain. I think it's 113 plus master link, but I really don't remember. Because what you're basically doing is waiting for your wax to melt. If I had thought ahead, I would have gotten that going earlier this morning, so I could have done it now, but I had other things to do, you know, God alive. Here's the little hook that we're gonna put the chain on. Chain and rubbing in isopropyl alcohol, 99%. Grab some paper towels so you don't make too much of a mess. And yes, the wax is all melted and ready to go. So what we're gonna do is pull this out of here. I have to cut this down to 116 links, but I'm not gonna do it right now because I'm gonna wax everything. Then I will take it down to 116 links. So what I do is I usually take these 2 the master links and drop them in the back end so they don't accidentally fall off. And I start here. And I thread this on like this. All right, there you go. So you see that's what it looks like, and we're gonna head over to the wax. Okay, here's the crock pot. If you take a look down in there, you'll see that there's no more little white ball. It's all that gray molten speed wax. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take this like this, dip it in here like this. And you can see how the wax is already clinging to the outside of the upper links because they're cold. So what you usually put this in here like this, and I typically leave this for about 15 minutes. I'll set a timer, give myself a 10-minute timer. I'll come back and take a look, and what I do is I typically take it, shake it, so you pull it up, shake it like this to try and get the bubbles out, and then you just stick it back in. Come on, get down there, like that. You want to keep as much of the chain submerged as possible. Put the cover on, and there you go. All right, so we're back. It's been just over 10 minutes. I'm gonna lift this. Oh, look, everything's nice and brown, which is another good sign that everything's sticking to the chain. Okay, so basically I'm just doing that little dip, like that. Okay. Submerge the chain again. As long as I've got all the air out, that's good. I'm gonna put the cover back on and give it another, let's say we give it another 5 minutes, and then we come back and take a look at it. By that time it should be nice and done. We can stick a fork in it. We're back at 5 minutes. Here's the chain. All nicely waxed. Yep, it's hot. One last little dip like this. And then what I do is I hold it up here. I'm gonna unplug the crock pot because we don't need to keep that running. Let this drip a little bit like this. All right, just shaking off the last wax. Okay, and then I just put it to hang down here. So what it's going to do is it's going to drip for a bit. And we just let it sit there and drip. Probably come back in half an hour. It'll be all dried up and solid. I will pull it off. You literally just take the links and go along the chain, wiggling them back and forth to break them free, and pull off the extra links that I don't need. And we get this with the new wheel onto the bike, thread this through, master link, and we're off for a ride this afternoon. As always, stress less, ride more, ride smart, ride safe. If you want to see anything else, comments below. And as always, take care.